Dope people and Nigerians across the world, greetings to you all. This is your darling program, The Comrade and Friends. And of course, you know that the other name, the other nomenclature for this program is the Sunday Tonic. My name is Comrade Lante Ikmousa Oriahi. And of course, I'm your host for this edition. And like you know, I have some other members. I call them the Musketeers of the Comrade Show. Of course, together we always do the best we can to look at the issues across Nigeria and, of course, issues across Edo State, be it political, social, cultural, and otherwise. Today, I am glad that I have the pleasure of having the Comrade and Friends right in the house, the Musketeers. And today we are going to be looking at some aspects of Edo culture that we have to put in proper perspective because of some of the wranglings in recent time over the issues of Bobrisky. We're not going to spend time on that. And of course, in recent time, just within the last couple of days, the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, granted interview to Channels Television, of course, NTA. And we want to look at the state of Nigeria from the eye of Mr. President. And moving forward from there, we shall take a look at another aspect of Edo culture that is right now getting some momentum. And that is talking about the Ahua Games. We talked about it last week. The Comrade Show participated. We are going to be giving you updates on the Ahua Games, a Bini cultural, game that is gaining traction. But before much ado, let me quickly bring on the Musketeers of the Comrade Show. And I want to say, Comrade Pharmacist Iremiran, I am glad to welcome you to the program.
Thank you so much, my brother, Comrade Lante, the CNC of the Great Comrade Show. My people, our top fan, our viewers, I want to say very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the globe. You are welcome to the second Sunday of 2022, today being the 9th of January 2022. And like you know, this is your darling program, the one we call the Comrade and Friends, your Sunday tonic. You remember the deal. Just share and share and share. God bless you now. Thank you.
Yes, just share, and share. And of course, if you're not yet a follower of the Comrade Show, please follow the Comrade Show on Facebook and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel if you wish. Of course, that's your decision, but we appreciate if you do so you can be getting first-hand information from the Comrade Show. But apart from Comrade Pharmacist Iremira, we equally have the other musketeer of the Comrade Show, and I call this one Comrade Dr. Tony Agbonsevafe. Dr. Tony, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother, the CNC himself, Comrade Lante Ikmomusa Oriaki. I greet you, my brother. I also greet you, my, very good pa, Comrade Pharmacist Austin Iremira. Always glad to be in your company, guys. Our people, fans of the Comrade Show, I greet you all, wherever you are watching us in the globe. Happy first Sunday. The year is going. Shockingly, it's already the 9th day of January 2022. So how has it been so far? Thank you for joining us on this, tonic once more.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. It's good to have you guys on. We're going to start quickly on a quick one. I'm sure you must have followed, happenings around Edo State within the past 72 hours, if I'm not mistaken, concerning the issues of Bob Risky. He made some comments. Edo people came out en masse yesterday. People were very vocal, rejected some of those misguided comments, I would say. And in the end, Bobrisky was asked to leave Edo State by his host. And eventually he left Edo State and everywhere is calm. But on the flip side, there had been a lot of misconceptions. People have been saying so many things and all of that. And we thought that we need to use this program to put things in proper perspective, particularly, looking at it from the reactions of Edo people and why they are reacting, which a lot of people that are non-Edos appear not to understand. Dr. Tony Agbanserai, can you put this in perspective?
Thank you very much, my brother, for the short introduction you have done. And I want to, really set certain things, in their right places with regards to this very, very important discussion we are having now. Because as an Edo State man, there are certain things that we see as untouchable when it comes to, our culture, our values, our traditions, and how we behave and what we say. So I'm going to just put it very, very simply so that everybody can follow. The event of the last few days with regards to Bobrisky, I must say, is very, very unfortunate. And for me, as an Edo State man, is like touching the tail of the tiger. And I want to give very high praise and commendation to the people of Edo State in their numbers and the way we all came together to, condemn in strong terms, the huge misdemeanor of this social media Bobrisky. Edo State people, whether you are from Benin, you are from Afema, you are from Akoko Edo, you are from Auchi, you are from Ekboma, Irua, Ewu, everywhere. Well done to all of you. Because like we always say in our language, oh yeah, I see me a woman. Where omoya or no where wasunu or translated, we say that it is with high intensity that we defend our land. And it is only the, uncultured child that will be asking what is happening when his father is being beaten or his mother. So, Edo people, I praise you all for the way you all came out in your groove, to condemn what Bobrisky did. And I must also commend the people of Edo State that this condemnation was done without violence, without knives and guns, without machetes. It was done peacefully. That gladdens my heart. And then the last thing I'm going to say is I want to also say well done to the host, our sister who invited Bobrisky for a program in Benin City. I want to thank her for the role she played. It was very, very important. Just so that I can sum up what I'm saying, Comrade Lante, is the fact that what this event has shown is that as a people, with the Edo State people, we hold our traditional institution, we hold our revered monarchy in very high esteem. We can take every other nonsense, but we cannot take any assault or affront, whether in words or in deeds, on our monarchy or our revered palace or our revered monarch, His Royal Majesty. Omonoba Nedo, Ukwa Polokpolo, Omonoba Nedo, Obaewa II, Ogidigan, we cannot. So Edo people, thank you all for standing and making things straight with regards to our culture. I will stop there, my brother.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agbons. Austin Remer, it's good we have your own perspective on this, particularly when you are not a Benin person, you are from a Edo State, you are all one, and all of that. Yesterday, I saw messages from our sisters, some of our sisters and brothers of the sand extraction, supporting, the Benins, supporting Edo State in this. Looking at the event that took place yesterday and the way the matter was resolved, from you, my brother, who is an Edo State person, but not a Benin, but an one person, what is your perspective on this particular matter of Bobrisky and the Edo State culture?
Thank you so much, my brother, Comrade Show, and Dr. Tony Agbons. I think from the broadcasts you made, 2 broadcasts over the weekend, and with the position of Dr. Tony Agbons, one will say quietly, let us just close shop and forget the matter. And I want to borrow leave from one of our top fans, Obama Austin. He has written, the best has been done to get him out of our kingdom. Please, can we stop talking about he or she, because the topic is worthless. I want to start from there because from some aspect, it may appear like, as Obama Austin has said, that it's worthless. But even in that worthless nature, it is good to learn a thing or two. And like you introduced, I am from Edo State. I pride myself as a true Edo State son. I'm from Edo North, Onwa, Otuo to be precise. But I was born and bred up in Benin. And I think the culture in Edo State is seamless. It's one of respect, one of dignity. And every citizen of Edo State, no matter where you come from, hold the Oba in high esteem, just like the Benin's. And remember, we believe that all our kings and queens, wherever they are direct descendants of the Oba. So, by extension, any affront on the Oba is invariably an affront on everybody, and everybody from Edo State. So, I think to that extent, my reaction will not be different at all from any Benin person, Esam person, Akoko Edo person, or one person, or an Aochi person. And like Tony said in his intro, it's only an uncultured son or daughter that will see his father or mother being beaten in the market, and all he does is to join them to beat the mother. The first thing you need to do is to save your father or your mother's head before asking questions. There is no gain saying the obvious. What happened over the weekend, or is it Friday, by Bobrisky is seriously condemnable. It's an affront. Maybe it was done just to gain popularity, but that was a joke taken too far. And like Tony has said, he has commended the Edo State people for their resolute and for their resolve. We didn't even wait to hear a word or two from the palace before we decided to do the right thing. And I must commend the person in question who listened quickly to the voice of reasoning and tendered an apology. Even though I consider the apology to be below par, but at least something has been done. And like Tony said, commending the host for also letting these guests know that in Edo State, we don't tolerate nonsense. That is commendable. And of course, the Benin people. It draws me back again to what we used in 2021, Edo not be Lagos. We are always very unique. And what goes on in other states cannot hold sway in our state. I even wonder, what was the correlation between the palace and Bobrisky? Well, I leave that to our conscience. But I think the right thing has been done. And like our guest said, it is worthless to talk about it. But we've learned a lesson. We in Edo, we hold our traditional institution, especially the Oba of Benin, in high esteem. And I must say, like you mentioned in many of your broadcasts, the Oba of Benin is one among two in the world that is highly respected because our hereditary nature is very sacrosanct. So, Bobrisky, you've learned your lessons. Edo State is a welcoming place, but you don't take us for granted. And I think the right thing really has been done. This will be my first input for now.
Thank you very much, former sister Iremira, coming from sister Iremira. Of a truth, I agree with the fact that yes, the matter should not be overflowed beyond, where it is at the moment. I firmly agree with that. The reason why I'm raising this topic again on the Comrade and Friends is not to talk about Bobrisky or what Bobrisky has done. Is to let our audience understand the cultural implications of such misdemeanor. Why is it so important for the Edo people to come out and, of course, defend, the land? I want Dr. Agmons to take us through that. The reason why it was so important for Edo people to react the way they did. I mean, give us an insight into that.
Thank you, my brother. And I'm going to give you a little historical perspective. And because this is what makes those of us from Edo State different. I say this, and sometimes my friends from the east, from the north and west of Nigeria, they say, this is your Edo. Look, Edo State, Edo people, our kingdom is a kingdom that stretched all the way to Dahomey in Benin Republic, to Togo, Lomé in Togo, to Eko, the place they call Lagos now, to, places far and wide. So Edo has been a kingdom, an empire that has spanned more than 2,500 years. So we know where we are coming from. It is only people who don't know where they are coming from that, they just take anything they like. Look, let me just tell us, all these politics and geographical demarcation, creation of states, and all the rest have made certain things a bit weak. So when we are talking of Edo, it is Uboriri. You feel the vibe. You feel some kind of anointing. That is how that land is. So we are a land that is steep in culture and tradition. And that is why I said in my earlier intro that there are certain things we cannot take. And like Pharmacist Remiren said just now, even the Benin Palace had not even reacted. You saw Edo people, they took it upon themselves. That is the way we are. So some of these things that people they do in Abuja, do in Lagos and other places in Nigeria, you can't do it in our place. We cannot. So we are a people of history. We are a people that know from generation to generation. We transmit this to our children. We transmit this to the people around us. We are very welcoming. We have Hausa quarters in Benin, all over the place. People, they live in Auchi and all those places. They live in Ekboma, Uromi, foreigners, no Nigerians, but let me just use the word. They come to live with us. We welcome them. Igbos, they come. They want to buy land. We sell for them. They build. They live among us. They trade in our market. They marry our children. We allow this, but not, having that temerity, to because somebody wants to want his page to go viral. Yes, but there were implications. So that's why I said I really thank Edo people for coming out to their group. So we are a people, and these things we are doing today, these are their own digital record. We are living digital print. Our children will play some of this, as I said, our fathers, Tony, our fathers, Lante, Comrade Lante, our fathers, Comrade Austin, they discuss these things. They will know. So we just can't brush it aside. Although the matter is resolved, but we have to talk about it.
my audio. Sorry, I lost my audio quite a bit there. Yes, I'm sorry. I was saying a few things. I just want to really put some things in perspective, and that is that Edo people are a people of culture, a people that have very rich, culture and values. And somebody reminded me yesterday and told me that a people without tradition and culture, they are people without identity. And to that extent, Edo people have identity. And it is the identity of the Edos that the Edos are defending, which is very important. Okay. And so it is not so much about Bobrisky, but so much about letting everybody know that there are certain red lines. That whether you are Bobrisky or Bob Wisdom or Bob Samuel or Bob whatever you are, okay, maintain the red lines. And of course, everybody will live, in peace and harmony. I'll come to you, my brother, Comrade Pharmacist Austin Iremira. Comrade Pharmacist Iremira. Yesterday, I was brought to, something was brought to my attention, and that is that today, unfortunately, we have a number of people of the Edo descent. They are on social media, they call themselves social media presenters. And what they do on social media, to say the least, most of what they do, very despicable. And it's most of what they do cast aspersions on the land, the Edo land. And somehow, because of what they do, this kind of temerity from Bobrisky, Edo State become prone to such because people are looking at us to say if their people can do the nonsense some of them are doing, not all of them, then we may even try a thing like that. How do you respond to that?
Thank you so much, CNC. I think what you said is very correct. And we will agree that so many people, especially from our state, are taking to social media in the wrong way. And we begin to use it in a way that does not bring respect and dignity. Some people, maybe a minority of them, may even argue, what are you talking about? There are some of your Edo brothers that even come and say different things, even far worse than what Bobrisky has done. So I think it's a moment for sober reflection and for Edos, if you are involved in such, to begin to learn lessons from it and to know that you are not painting our dear state in the right light. Some Edos even come to social media to insult and settle family quarrels that is not worth it. We agree that the social media has become an all-comers affair. But again, we should always remember where we come from and with dignity. Because what comes out of your mouth, directly or indirectly, even if it's somebody asking you to say it, you own it. And that, of course, paints us in the wrong light. We need to be guided. We need to carry ourselves with that degree of air that we have. And Edo people is fast becoming a big problem. You would agree with me. We've had discussions on this both privately, and you've also made broadcasts about it. There is no gainsaying the obvious. The way you want to be treated, you have to behave in similar way. So for Edo people, especially those who take on social media to do things that will not present Edo State in the right light, they are not helping matters. Our state is unique, and uniqueness we must always display at all times. So it is very clear. My advice to those very small quantum of number of people is that please, let's be guided. Let's not begin to wash our dirty linens and by extension, our great state in public in a life that is despicable.
Thank you very much, my brother Austin Iremira. I think that is succinctly put. Yes, we are not going to belabor this matter. I think
I want to add something, my brother, Comrade.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I can see that a lot of our viewers are really, they are following this matter. People are reacting. There is even some banter, and some people are even throwing jibes at each other. Yeah, very good conversation going on both our YouTube and Facebook handles. But I want to say this, and I'm saying it with every air of authority. Edo where aragbode anatemata.
Absolutely.
Translated, is in making jokes that people tell truth to each other. just because some of our viewers, let me just make this clear. Some people are saying what Bobrisky said was a joke. The truth of the matter, it was never a joke, and that is why I made that parable earlier. So these social media influencers, they do all sorts just to trend their page, but there are boundaries. Like my brother Comrade Lante said, there are red lines, and I think we, the Edo State people, we've sent a clear message. Don't make that kind of joke with us. That's just I just wanted to add that bit. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much, bro. I think it's well put. Look, to be honest, on the flip side, on it at another level, they tell you to err is human, but to forgive is divine. I want to believe that Bobrisky or whoever, not just him, but everybody around, okay, they get this message, and of course, I want to equally encourage that. Edo people all across the world, this matter has been dealt with. Let us forgive and forget. And I did say too, that the message has been sent. What we wanted was done. At the end of the day, everybody is good. So in future, if Bobrisky is having anything to come and do in Edo State and all of that, provided he puts himself rightly, not just him, every other person and all of that, we've established very strongly that the palace of the Oba of Benin is a red line that nobody crosses. Whether you are joking or you are serious, it doesn't matter to us and all of that. And so that is why this is, what it is. And of course, I want to be sure that I want to assure that Edo people, they've crossed this, they've forgotten about it, they've moved on, the message is sent and it's very clear and all of that. So, moving on, the comrade and friends, please, we are on the state of the nation, Nigeria. The President of Nigeria granted an interview a few days ago to Channels Television and, of course, to NTA. He said, he responded to a number of things and all of that. I watched the interview. I've tried to analyze part of it. We are still very much on it. But we're going to look at this excerpt from Mr. President. We may not be able to play all of what the president talked about, but this one is very important because when this president was elected in 2015, before he was elected, Nigeria was at a level. He met a debt profile of about 12 trillion and all of that. So he was reminded where Nigeria was when he took over and where Nigeria is currently. He responded, and I want us to take this interview from that direction, particularly now that 2023 beckons. Nigeria, we have our destiny right before us, and we now need to decide what we have to do. We know how the last 6.5 to 7 years has been. If we want a continuity from this, it is now we should decide. 2022 is a very crucial year in determining the fate of Nigeria from 2023. And that is why we are looking at all of this. And all of us will be ready and willing to be part of this process to ensure that we take part in deciding the future of this country, never leaving it to how it is being. Comrade and friends, before I come to you guys, and of course to our dear audience, please, if you are watching, help share this broadcast. Let's get a number of people together. I'm going to play this excerpt. Okay, it is the cross of most of the things that the president talked about. But I want to give credit to Channels Television for this particular excerpt, and of course to Sheung and his colleague for asking the right questions. Please, let's take a listen.
As much as I wanted us to move on from the economy, and when I was asking the question about the Chinese loans, when we wonder where the nation was when you took over office in 2015, our debt stock at the time was about 12 trillion. Now it is about 32 trillion. Inflation rate was about 9%. It is now sitting about over 15%. Unemployment rate was about 8.19%. It is now 33.28%. Exchange rate was about 197 naira to a dollar. It's way over 400 naira to a dollar. So people will look back, economically speaking, and say, look, before you took over office, some of these indicators were fair, and now the figures are not friendly at all.
Well, I'm not sure how correct the calculations are, but all I know is that we have to allow people to get access to the farm. As I said, we just have to go back to the land.
I am not sure how correct your calculations are. All I know is that we have to allow people go back to their farms. We have to go back to we have to allow people go back to the land. That is the response of Mr. President to a question of statistics. This is what the state of Nigeria when you took over fell a bit. This is how it is right now. How do you respond? And his response was the issue of cattle, cow, and herdsmen, and all of that. Pharmacist Iremiran, the state of
Thank you so much, my brother Comrade. I just knew that you were going to come to me by way of telepathy. But let me just say, I find that interview very, very uninspiring. And to me, the president did not, in my view, answer any of the question. I also think probably some of the answers he gave were things he just manufactured from somewhere. And it is painful. It is painful because we are where we are now. You haven't asked me that, but I think this interview granted by the president is sounding a very strong note of warning that all of us Nigerians must come to that consciousness and be guided as we make inroad in 2023 to choose who will become our next president. My president on that interview appeared a bit absent and not aware, and that portends a very great danger. How do we begin to analyze this? For a president not to appreciate the data presented to him by those interviewing him, and those data were not foreign, they were gotten from established Nigerian body. It speaks louder, really, than words. And it drives one nut that we don't really know where we begin to interrogate. Because the president did not answer that. He simply just went straight to agriculture. The only thing he said was that he refuted the data, but there was no alternative data given to support his claim. And just going back again, I find the entire interview a bit uninspiring. We shouldn't go back to our vomit. We've done it already. I see that the response of the president is simply telling me, let us begin to look for our next president. That's just my quick reaction. I don't think I've answered your question, but I don't really know what to say as for that.
Okay, Dr. Agbons, a quick response to this. Let us go back to our farms. Let us allow people to go back to their farms.
I don't know what to add because pharmacist Iremiran have said all I wanted to say. In every part of the world, I'll be very brief, my brother. Every part of the world, countries don't joke with statistics. Data is what you use to work. Figures. We often say that numbers don't lie. They are like pictures, So for the president to refute those figures just with the wave of his arm like this, and then just start talking about going to farm and all the rest, I think the president at the moment is very, very much out of touch. I'm not surprised anyway, because even the Channels TV, when they were putting out this interview, they said that they were allowed to do this interview on one condition, that the questions must be sent ahead, and they did that. So you can imagine that. So like my brother Austin said just now, what has happened has happened. 2023, are we going to make the same mistake again? So for me, that is where we should be. We should be talking about 2023, how we as Nigerian people can rescue our country. Because I don't know how the next 17 months is going to be like. The president is out of touch. Out of touch. Your audio is off.
Sorry, sir. Just before we, of course, move on a bit from the president, I want us to take a look at another asset. This one was on the issue of security, particularly on banditry and all of that. Let's hear how the president responded to this.
I made that reference to weather because, people believe that when things get dry up north, that's when you begin to see the herders coming down south, and that's when we see the resurgence of the conflict between farmers and herders. So that's why I made reference to the weather. Do you think that that has been sorted once and for all?
Yes, the ministers of agriculture from Audogobe to Mahmoud now, one of the issues I discussed with them personally is to go and get the gazettes of Fast Republic, especially from the northern states. There are cattle routes and grazing grounds. And the cattle rearers are confined to those areas. Those that go outside that one are arrested, and farmers are encouraged to come and lay their claims. If they don't have the money, their cattle were sold, and the farmers are settled. So we said we have to go back to the system again to try and make sure that we prepare the grazing areas, arsenals, windmills, even veterinary departments, so that the herders don't stray into people's farms and into the towns and so on. So really, we are working on that.
The concern here, Mr. President, is finding the lasting solution. What in your mind do you think can help bring a lasting solution to these issues, herder crises, and the issues of banditry?
There is a problem on culture. And problem on culture, you have to study it to understand it. The life of normal herders, they depend entirely on them. They sell the milk, they sell the animals to pay tax and so on, and buy, say, sugar or salt or something. Is their entire way of life. So, if those cattle were taken away from them, they normally become very wild, because that's the only thing they know. It's a cultural problem. And the way we do it starts from bottom upwards. The leadership to make sure that.
Okay, I mean, this is I mean, it's quite some response that is really not responding to the issues. But the question asked was the issue of herders and farmers, clashes and stuff like that, and he was responding the way he was responding, and making us understand. I think from what I took from him is that the clash is going to continue. The Fulani herdsmen are going to be killing people so long as we don't provide land for them to be grazing. He referred us back to 1963, when Nigeria, probably would have been less than 30 million population.
We're 48 million that time.
Okay, by 48 million. We should apply the same formula then, to when Nigeria is now more than 200 million and all of that, and all that. So, but we will leave Mr. President. And of course, personally, I said I'm not blaming him anymore. I think I'm blaming the powers that brought him upon Nigerians and all of that. And now, as we speak, these same powers, they're already marauding everywhere. One of the loudest names you hear right now to become the next president of Nigeria is, what's his name? Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all of that. Personally, I checked Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all of that. And I see that this is another replica of Buhari, a man who has not acquired any new skill since the last 10 years or 15 years, as the case may be. A man who sees Nigeria the way Buhari is seeing Nigeria right now and all of that. Is this a risk we like to take? I'll start from you, Dr. Agbons.
Very huge risk. Very, very huge risk. And you just nail it on the head. What has he improved on? What is his digital knowledge? What, since he left as governor of Lagos State, he's just been playing politics. Yes, he's a very good politician. Yes, but is that what we need? And I'm even surprised that even a lot of people of our age, young people who are even younger than myself, they are already even beginning to support this man. Even the other one, the other big one from the north, Atiku Abubakar. Yes, for God's sake, these people, is this country, is it their private estate? 1999, Atiku was vice presidential candidate for Olusegun Obasanjo. 98-99 was the vice presidential candidate. And let me take us back a little bit. In the election that brought the late MKO Abiola close to Nigeria's presidency in 1993, Atiku contested as a presidential candidate for the SDP since I'm talking of 1992, 1993. He's still gunning for the office. And this is how Buhari wanted to be president. He contested 4 times. And now the opportunity came, nothing delivered. So, like you said, Nigerians, make we shine our eyes. Now we have to decide the destiny of our nation. Because, my brother, I'm not ready to do any analysis in 2024 when another wrong person comes in as president. I'm not ready. So now is the time for us to get involved in this thing, get all our acts together, and make sure that we get the right person in. Because there's a lot of names. I'm sure you're going to show it to some of our viewers very shortly. The names we are seeing now, they don't elicit hope.
Dr. Pharmacist Remira, does it mean? But before I ask this question, let me quickly, tell Nigerians that and credit again to Channels Television. Channels Television, in some of their past broadcasts, did throw up some names that already, that are looking around right now, wants to become president of Nigeria and all of that. I want to reel out some of these names. This one will precede the next question I'm going to ask. On the platform of the APC, some of the hopefuls that are already flooding around right now that people are projecting are these. On the platform of the APC, we have Bola Tinubu, we have Professor Yemi Osinbajo, we have Yahaya Bello, we have Rochas Okorocha, we have Rotimi Amechi, we have Godwill Akpabio, we have Kayode Fayemi, and we have Babatunde Fashola. That is for the APC. On the part of the PDP, some of the names, looking around are Atiku Abubakar, Aminu Tambowa, Bukola Saraki, Peter Obi, Bala Mohammed, Goodluck Jonathan, Sam Ahua, Pius Ayin, and of course, for the other, race, we equally have Kingsley Mogalu, we have Akinwumi Adesina, we have Jack Rich 10, and we have Obi Ezekwesili, and we have Tunde Bakari. These ones are for all the other political parties, as it were. Comrade from Assistant Remiran, looking at these names that are already, flocking around right now, does it mean that we don't have capable people who are outside of the old bloc that can govern Nigeria as a state, as a nation?
Thank you so much, CNC Comrade Lante. To answer your question, we do. We have lots of people outside the old bloc who can effectively deliver and take Nigeria from this present situation that we find ourselves. But the answer is, do they stand a chance? I don't know. Very big question. In the course of Dr. Tony Agbon's making an analysis, he said something that worries me. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. There was tumultuous crowd in the southeast marching and canvassing that a present governor should run for presidential race. When I looked at the crowd in close look, they were all young people of our age. And we expect these young people to turn the tide. So if we begin to follow money and follow our own, we may not see this change. And those people outside the block that I told you exist will never have a chance. Money politics, religious politics has overwhelmed the space. But the question is, Lamte and Dr. Tony, are we going to relax? Would we remain like this? How do we change the narrative and change our country? It is a big question. I think what we need to do now is to begin to educate and let the young people who need to decide the fate of this country to come to reality that the money you put in your pocket today will cost you more problem for another 4 years. We must look for a way, like we thought we had in APC, to break these genes. Of all the names you read out, I only pick 2. And my reasons are, I am not going to pick any politician that I would support if I were to vote in Nigeria. Leadership, the meaning of leadership is just 2 things. Take responsibility. And the people I see now are not ready to take responsibility. The second for me is capacity. You cannot give what you don't have. So on your list, I only find two people worthy by my reckoning. And I will tell you why. Because they've done something in their private life before, which I think they can bring to bear in Nigeria. And those 2 names are Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, not because he's a governor, but he has run a company and he's still CEO of many. So he has done business before. And of course, Obi Ezekwesili, which we all know, though not a politician by default, has run a lot and is midwifing a very big organization now. But do they stand a chance? Very big question, my brother. We really need to go back to our drawing board. We need politicians and leaders that can take responsibility. We don't need politicians now. The politics is gone. I tell you something. In the course of Buhari's interview, he kept mentioning that there was a president that used 12 billion for light. What have you done to that president? Of course you can't, because they are a group of generals. So we need somebody that will come to shake the table that doesn't belong to this group. And if this group must remain, we'll just be dancing gelele around the table. There will be no movement.
Dr. Tony, I'm just dazed, almost to the point that my brain is like trying to sort itself out. Dr. Tony Agmons, any add-on before we move on from this particular matter?
My brother, the little add-on I want to say is that I'm aligning myself with the 2 names that my brother, Pharmacist Remiran, picked. Dr. Peter Obi, because of its antecedent and his, well, at least we know what he's doing. We know how developed his mind is, and he's much younger. And Dr. Ezekwesili. So that is what I have to add on. Austin have said it all. Nigerians, we need to, let's take the pain a little bit. This money these people share around. We know that times are hard, but let us for once face this hardness and turn our nation around. That is just my plea. And we're not going to stop as 2023 beckons.
I like Nigerians to know this. The reason why we probably should talk about this is very important, as a very important matter is this. The level of corruption that is under this administration, apart from the ineptitude of Buhari and every other thing, the way these people, are killing us corruption-wise is such that we cannot ignore. I want to show us something. This may enrage many of you as it did me. But just watch this. I'm going to reel it out. Do you know, in October of 2016, FG approves money for the dualization of Calabar-Itu Road. May 2017, Federal Government Executive Council approves 54 billion for the reconstruction of Calabar-Itu Road to a 4-lane expressway under Buhari. July 1st, 2018, this same federal government under Buhari mobilized contractors with 11 billion naira for Calabar Itu Road in 2018. December 2019, under the same Buhari, FG raised funds from Sukuk bonds for Calabar Itu Road. July 2020, this same FG to begin work on dualization of Idukmani Itu Road, in few weeks. February 2021, FG to complete Calabar Itu East-West Road, NDDC funds. December 2021, FG releases 185 billion for the dualization of Calabar Itu Road. What is the problem? This is just for Calabar Itu Road under Buhari's watch. One road, many years, billions of naira deployed every year, like every 4 or 3 months, for the construction of one road, Calabar Itu Road. One of the many faces of corruption under this administration. And corruption in government has become quite cultural. And that is why we are afraid that if proper disciples of this regime take over from this regime, okay, the level of corruption we are seeing right now will even be tripled. And that will be, at the expense of the ordinary Nigerian. It therefore means that 2022, as 2023 beckons, we have a huge responsibility as a people, particularly the young people of Nigeria, to start fishing for who should be the next president of Nigeria. Apart from this list that we posted just now, by Channels Television, credit to them, and all of that, we have a few other persons, credible people. I didn't see someone like Shawore there. I know that someone like Dele Momodu is interacting right now. Probably is going to equally, flag off, his ambition to become president. These are some people that we can say that are outside of this block that we may want to, look at. Even the governor of Edo State is an asset to this nation, as it were. Though we may not, readily, evaluate the governor right now, we need to get to some point in 2022 to be able to assess the governor, to know his account of stewardship as far as Edo State is concerned, before we can strongly able to say, Governor Obaseki, may be a subject, as far as this is concerned. On the last note, sir, Comrade Remiran, I just talked about Governor Obaseki. Is he a possibility?
I think I have drawn 3 criteria for me to consider Nigerian president now. 1, he must be a leader that's ready to take responsibility. He must have capacity. And the last, never in my lifetime should we have a president that is not educated, because education is key and it moves us. So those 3 boxes I have ticked. Obaseki ticks it for me if he decides to throw his towel into the race.
Dr. Agbons, Obaseki is still governor of Edo State. We cannot have complete assessment of his account of stewardship at the moment. Some of us are waiting to some point at level. He's doing very well in some areas, okay, that we can see visibly, and there are so many other areas talked about that we can only feel, we cannot touch. But at some point in 2022, we should be able to have a complete assessment of how far the governor has done, how well he has done for Edo State. For you, for now, can we say, Mr. Godwin Obaseki is a likely good candidate to become president of Nigeria?
Yeah, why not? I keep saying this. I think the pharmacists have said it today. People cannot give what they don't have. I know that a lot of naysayers from Edo State, especially those who don't like the style of governance of Obaseki, they will be, throwing stones at us now on the screen. Yes, they can do that. But when you look at governance, what is it? Governance is all about planning and then executing the plan. What has got Nigeria where it is, my brother, is we have always been relying on this super personality. And that is what got us to this stage of having Buhari as president. And I must tell you, before I answer your question, let me just digress a little bit. I'm happy that Buhari eventually became president. In fact, I wrote it in one of my last articles. Because if this man had not been president, some people would have even been comparing him to Obafemi Awolowo. Oh, if to say the man not be president, Nigeria for better. But I'm even happy. And we have all seen now. We have seen what has happened. So when you look at Obaseki, he's cerebral, he's got the intellect, and he's somebody that likes doing things the unusual way. And that is the challenge Obaseki has been having in those states. Look, some of us, we got our ears to the ground. We know what is happening. We know what has been happening before Obaseki came in, the way government house was and the way it is now. So most of these people are talking because things are not going their way. Look, Nigerians, I want to scream. We cannot keep doing things the same way and expect a different result. No way. And aligned to this president thing, we also have to look at how governors and local government council chairmen, how they operate. Until we get these three things right, Nigeria is not going to move forward. That is, and I know in subsequent programs we have said we are going to be looking at some of these indices. We also look at, because every time in Nigeria we talk of president. How about governors? How are these governors also doing? How are these local government chairmen? How are they doing? So some of these things we look at. But for Obaseki, I think he's a material. But it's so shocking that it's only in our kind of society. When you mention names like Peter Obi, Obaseki, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Obi Ezekwesili, the African Development Bank president, people will say, no, don't get those people. Go and bring Tinubu, go and bring Atiku. Only in Nigeria you hear those kind of things. In other countries, the people that they push for high office, they are the best. Everybody will be saying, now you will want. They'll go and drag that person, say, because the person has the mental capacity. Absolutely. Look at our president talking, sorry, my brother, I'm ranting up, saying that, oh, he's been working for 7 hours, he's tired. And I'm really checking. I'm like, when I was in Lagos, how many hours was I working? Even now that I'm working, how many hours do I work? So many things, my brother, time not going to reach me, we'll talk.
Anyway, it's an ongoing matter. Look, I am of the opinion that we deliberately work to break the jinx. These jinx, okay, identified by Jerry Rawlings of Ghana, who said once that Nigerians are still very much in love with their oppressors. Yeah. That's exactly what we have in leadership. Yeah. Our youth cluster around our oppressors.
Even as we are on this program now, you can see the comment from some of our people. Yeah. So sometimes you just begin to wonder that, how do we get this thing right?
Yeah, we will get it right. We are committed to, and that is why this matter is an open-ended matter. From the Comrade Show, we will try to see how much we can galvanize to start changing the narrative. 2023, we cannot make a mistake about it. On the matter of Governor Obaseki, I don't have any opinion at the moment. I will wait until some point in 2022 to be able to assess how well he has done in Edo State for me to be able to stick my neck out for the governor. Okay, for the president of Nigeria. For now, it's on a good trajectory. The lighting of Edo State is an ongoing project. It's a beautiful thing. Austin Remira, I just want to make 1 or 2 statements concerning that so I can move on to the next chapter of this broadcast. Edo State is being lighted right now with street lights, getting to all nooks and crannies of the state by the governor. And Edo people are happy. Economic activities are being improved. Security is being improved. People can afford to not stay a bit longer in their own place of business and stuff like that. What would you say to that? Because that is what is featuring in right now, that, people are really happy with the street lighting project, amongst other things.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak on that. When we analyzed his New Year broadcast last week, that lighting system was one that caught my fancy, and I agree with one of the 3 points that I made. And the governor did say that it's going to be in Benin City, Ekpoma, and Auchi, if I get my facts right. I think it's commendable. I just want to see it realized. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. So, do people and Nigerians across the world, of course, the Comrade and Friends will be looking into all of these political matters. We are going to be part of it as strongly as possible. If you are watching and you are not yet following the Comrade Show, this is where you're going to get it. It's an independent online media. We're going to be involved in this. And just to quickly remind you, Delta State election is coming up very soon. Of course, it's part of the package that we are going to be looking at. We are interested, these twin states, Edo and Delta states, they are states that actually catch our interest, and we will be involved in the Delta state process as well. We want to ensure that we begin to contribute towards ensuring that the right people are in government, and we'll follow up as well, monitoring and the activities, and of course calling government to account where we know that things are not going right. We have to get it right. If we are not getting it right at the federal level, let us start probably from the state level, the local government level, and probably we build it from there. So that, like Obama said, he said change does not happen from top downwards; it happens from down upwards. And politics, every politics is local, and that is why we are going to start from the very local and cocoa below, like I will always say. And that drives me to one point: cultural. Last week we talked about Ahua games. Ahua is an Edo traditional, a game that some of our brothers, in one region in Edo State, revitalized, and they had a competition. They've had it ongoing. We enrolled from the Comrade Show table in that competition, and the competition was concluded on the 3rd of this month. And of course, I want to pass the baton now quickly to my brother, Comrade Agbons, to give us updates on the Ahua games. I can tell you that the story was indeed a beautiful story. Over to you, Dr. Agbons.
Thank you very much, Comrade Lamte Oriahi. Yes, the Ahua Games and Carnival was concluded last week, Monday, at Ugemoson Village in the Wunde local government of Edo State. We'll be talking about culture. These are some of the things we're talking about. Going back to our roots. The only thing is that the Comrade Show team, we were in the finals. We qualified for the quarterfinals, the finals, the semi-finals, and the finals, but we lost narrowly to the United Achievers Club, a team that was sponsored by United Achievers Club. They beat us in the final, which was a bit painful, but we are gallant losers. We accept defeat magnanimously. We are happy, so we took the runners-up position. Team Comrade Show, we were second out of 8 teams, which is not bad. I believe that next year we will go one better. So
okay. Just also have a feel of these. I have 2 clips. They are a bit long, about 4 minutes. Please bear with us. But I'd like us to enjoy it. It's a feel, part of that our culture that we must not, we cannot gloss over. We just have to, keep projecting, our culture. Please enjoy this very small clips, short clips.
In red is Team Inabulele. Next in blue is Team Osaibogo. In wine color is Team Osagi. In lemon green is Igbe Emoni team. In black with red trimmings is United Achievers team of New York. In orange is Team Egwavoint. In yellow with black trimmings, Comrade Show team. And the last team for the day is Ahua team. We have the team parade. Team for the year. You can see the enthusiasm. You can see the passion. Teams are ready. Yes, they are ready. It's time to show your pride. Show your team pride. Was the national anthem, officially signaling the takeoff of the grand finale of the Ahua Carnival game show.
la utamima akwe na bene ya bujana ba cho popa ni ya wo popa de mana kesu ono na ba cho na ogie okay wa cho na odibogi ba odibogi oni no so gege no se jo ogie ba no so wekia no so gege ina wo ina ya ka na ya ina me ka mo pa e ka mo gi ina na e ka mo gi na ona lebo ka mo gi akwe ina lebo ona le gbegba kan ona lebo gbegba kan na do yu gbegba kan na ka ena no kan ko na awe ka le ka ko ke pala ke ya ba okay ena le ka le ko ti soja ena we na ku ka me e ka me na ya no ro da ba abode ona o e no ri di agwa ona o da ka le ona rada egwa no ki akwe ena he ka me na kina e ka me ona na ukwo ke no ki akwe ukwo ya ifa bona ke bona akwe awe ka mo na ya ena ya le kina ka mo ona be abode bakawele wo si gbegba kan okay ona na abode okay na ame ka mo ikamogi na ya wesi do se wesi agwa nogi ona be ona enogi ona odibo ona enogi wesi baba wache ni we
agbe no no ari gbe wo ga ko ga wo tan ha no e wo agbe wo pa okay oya
grab attention.
Ija.
Game over. Egwabon team has just won the second game. For the third place match, Egwabon team has officially won the bronze medal match.
Egwabon team to Sage team nil.
Game over. Egwabon 2, Osage 0.
Sage team nil. Egwabon team are qualified for the third position.
Won the position. The bronze medal team is the Egwabon bronze medal match by beating Osage team by 2-0. Congratulations, Egwabon team. Well done.
Your audio, Comrade Lante.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I just said I think that was very, very exciting. Honestly, viewers, if you are watching, this is called Ahua game. It's a Benin traditional, Edo State traditional games, and some people at Ugomo Song community came together to. I mean, they are trying to revitalize our games and our tradition and all of that. And this is what this is about. And this competition was widely attended, a beautiful one, to be honest. And the Comrade Show team came second. We bought one of the best players of last season. And this season, we are committed now to the winners of the team. We want to buy their best player as well against next season. But Comrade Ramira, before I play the second asset, what do you have to say? I mean, looking at what you just saw.
Thank you so much. Last week, we talked about this because it was going to be the last game, and we told our viewers that Team Comrade Show had qualified for the finals. But from Monday the 3rd, we now know that we came second after a very narrow loss. I was told that the game was very intense, but at the end of the day, Comrade Show succumbed to the team from the United States. We're going to come back again strong next year by His grace. But overall, I think this is something exciting. It's a form of unity, bringing people together and keeping the spirit on. I say thanks to Comrade Show for beaming the spotlight and for putting that village in the map, because this is something good and it has some cultural inclination as well.
Don't go away. You must have to stay to watch this second asset. It's a beautiful one.
Comrade, people are not calling you the Abramovich of Ahua games. One of our fans just said that now. Daniel Aigbe.
I like that. I think
we are going to be signing all the best players for our team.
Absolutely.
Osage. One chance. Upano. Friday Osage. Roasted yams. 2 bags of yam is ready.
Anyway, Edo people, let me not belabor us too much. That's just some of the sad attractions that accompany the Ahua games. I'm hoping that by next week, we will show us some excerpts of the finals between United Achievers and, of course, the Comrade Show team. It was very exciting. Hopefully, we're going to get that footage and we're going to show it so that we can have a feel of this. I think for us, we are happy because we are privileged to be able to promote, some of these things that are very cultural to us. They were almost going extinct, but thank God, the Ugomosu community and of course our brother there, one of our brothers there, is championing this. And this program right now, this community is taking a different dimension already. We are beginning to have some investors, which is a good thing. And we are actually, calling on the dope people across the world, to build some searchlight into this. If you're interested, reach us. You can have a team for next year, for next season, which is going to be played between 1st and the 3rd of January 2023. And we prepare towards that. From the Comrade Show, we are committed. We are buying the best player, of this particular season to add to the best player of last season. Next season, we are looking forward to winning it. Let everybody try. We pay the sign-on fee. So it's getting... We are the first team to sign a player on, and the thing is getting the whole community, wide. Like, wow, is it possible? And everybody's happy, and all of that. I mean, you'll be very surprised, Inigo the high to sign on, our players and all of that. And so it's getting the attraction it needs to get, and hopefully we shall continue like this, to have a very, and to be very good. I mean, to equally, just by way of information, we just understand. We just learn now that the community has provided a piece of land, for a more stable game to be played, next season, which means that some development is going to take place and all of that. So we are interested, and we like to be interested. But we want to see how we can create some other alternatives, to this. I mean, we have a Western this thing in a way to ensure that our culture is equally elevated and placed on the pedestal that it belongs, as it were. Dr. Agbons, you have been very much integral, directly part of this. What do you have to say? I know that Budorui is in your echo right now.
Kakabo Budorui from echo yaga. So I'm very happy. I'm full of white chalk. I'm excited. In fact, there's maybe next week we're going to show some part of that clip where you will see our women. Because it's not just about men playing the game, the women have to also do their moonlight games as well. There was a competition where our women were doing what we call a nakbido, and I don't know how many those people will remember what we call a nakbido now. It's
bido,
yeah. So
Benapere.
Yeah, so I know. So you throw puzzles and people have to decode that puzzle. So women. So look, I always say this: there is more to life than what this generation is getting now. And I must thank our EPA, Roland Ogoanina.
Yeah.
He is the convener of these Ahua games and carnival. It's a carnival. We saw the roasted yam in that clip there.
I think we can even invite him for next.
Yes, to come and debrief. Yeah, well, that would be nice. Yeah. So we thank him. We thank Dr. Kumbawa. We thank other people, those sons and daughters, both at home and abroad, who supported. Because most of those teams you saw during the national anthem, they were sponsored. Some of them are family, like the team that won this year's tournament, United Achievers. It's a club. It's an Edo State club in New York. They bought although we are planning to sign their best player now. We've already spoken to our agent, and Austin, the pharmacist, is writing a prescription on that. We have to get that their best player. Austin, you have to come in now.
Certainly.
Austin, go ahead.
Certainly. Yeah, like I said, it's just buzzing all the while. I think we must not fail to thank all our top fans who have been very supportive of this. And like I said in previous edition, if you are from that village and you have not joined the bandwagon, please do. And if you know of any traditional game that is played in your village and you want to bring to limelight, the Comrade Show is here to help you put things across so that you can get that recognition. But overall, I'm very happy. To come second out of 8 teams is something good. We should be proud of it. Yes. I'm proud of Team Comrade Show.
Nice one. Yes, well, my people, Edo people and Nigerians across the world, this is where we're going to draw the curtain. Of course, it's been a very wonderful day. We've looked at some of these issues. This is what we do on the Comrade Show, and that's why we always say, if you are not yet following the Comrade Show on Facebook and on YouTube, where we are majorly, please follow the Comrade Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And not forget to hit the notification button so that you can always be part of this. What we do here is to discuss national issues. Edo State matters, whether cultural, social, religious, or otherwise, as far as there are matters that affect the human beings in the state and the country. We talk about them, burning issues and all of that. So it's essential. We are not just alone. We bring people on this program from time to time to look at these issues. The only goal we have is we want to keep contributing towards making our state and our nation a better place for all of us. So join us. Let's be a team. Let's be a family. We have a lot going. We know that we cannot do it alone. That's why we have a lot of people who are joining us to get things going. And so, and that's what the Comrade Show is doing. We don't just talk, we do a lot. As we speak, many of you know already, we are heavily involved in a Edo State lighting project. We are glad now that the government is doing their own right now. Next week, we are going to Iroa. We have some units of lights to go and install in the palace of the Onoje of Iroa and all of that, donated by the Edo State Security Consultative Forum right here in the UK and all that, And of course, we have some members that are in other parts of Europe, like Switzerland and Germany and all of that, So these are part of the things that we do to give back to society. And from the Comrade Show, we equally have the Edo Zero Illiteracy Program, which is a program we are using to identify out-of-school children and bring them back to school. And so far, a couple of months ago we have taken back a number of children back to school, and the program is continuing. And so these are all the things that we are doing. But we are not alone. We have a lot of people that are joining hands with us to keep all of this going. And while we are doing what we are doing, we are able to stand firmly to keep holding government to account, whether in Edo State or at the level of the federal government of Nigeria. And that is what our trajectory, and that's what we hope that all of us can come together to keep doing. But I want to thank everyone who's been part of this program. I would have called some names, but your names are just numerous. The support we've had has been massive. Thank you very much. My name is Comrade Lante Oriahi. I'll be your host. And of course, I've had, two of the musketeers of the Comrade Show, of course, helping to midwife this process, discuss the matter. Great discussers they are, experienced people, lovers of Edo State and Nigeria, very patriotic Nigerians, men that I'm very proud, to be in their company. And I want to say a very big thank you to Austin Iremera for being part of today's edition. Of course, my brother Tony Agbons. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
So, Edo people and Nigerians across the world, Just a last word generally from Iremira, please.
Well, just to thank our viewers. The year is just starting. We pray that it continue to be a prosperous one for us. God bless you all.
Yes, over to you, my brother, Dr. Agmanseva.
Yeah, just again, thank you all our viewers. Our page was buzzing today. A lot of comments, a lot of vibrations, and radiation all over the place. Thank you for joining us. The year is going. Keep all your goals ahead of you, and you will get there. Have a blessed week.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll see you again next Sunday for same time, 5 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. It's a Sunday tonic. Keep a date with us. Never you touch that dial. It's the Sunday tonic. The Comrade and Friends. Bye for now.
The Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriak. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is